Now in this video I want to talk about what is a slope of a straight line and how to find it. Now one definition of the slope is the slope is equal to, as I mentioned before, the slope is the ratio of the change in the y to the change in the x, and usually we use delta y to represent this change and use delta x to represent the change in the x. So what this means is now here we're given a graph of a straight line, right? So if I pick up any 2 points on this graph and figure out this what is the ratio of the change in y to the change in x, and you will see no matter which 2 points I pick up, this ratio is always a constant. So for example, if I pick up these 2 points, so if I consider the change in the x, so from this point move to this point, I move for 1 unit horizontally. So the change in the x here is 1, and then the change in the y, so here the change in the y is 2, because so from 1 I move to 3, so the change in the y is 2. So the ratio here is 2. So 2 is the slope of this straight line. Also, we can pick up another 2 points. For example, I pick up these 2 points, and I consider what is this ratio. So from 2 and move to 3. So the change in the x, still be 1, and from 3 to 5. Sorry, this is 2, 3. So from 3 to 5, the change in the y is 2. So this ratio is 2. So the slope of this straight line is 2. And also, there is another definition of a slope. Another definition is if we pick up any 2 points on the straight line, and one point, let's call it x1, y1, another point is x2, y2. So if we compute this difference of y1 and y2 and divide by the difference of x2 and x1. Now, this is another way. This is another way to write the difference in y over the difference in x. Right. So actually, these 2 definitions, they are equivalent. So using this way, we can also compute the slope of the straight line. So for example, so now we know this point is the coordinate is 2, 3, and at this point the coordinate is 3, 5. And now it doesn't matter which point you let be the first point. So if you decide to let this point be the first point, then 2 is x1 and 3 is y1. And if you decide to let this point be the first point, then 3 is x1 and 5 is y1. So it doesn't matter. Okay, so say here I let this be the first point. So this is y, this is x1, and this is y1, and this is x2, and this will be y2. So if I compute y2 minus y1, this is equal to 5 minus 3, and over x2 minus x1, so this is 3 minus 2. So the slope is 2. Okay. Let me do another example. Okay. Find the slope of the straight line that is determined by the points -3, -2, and 4 and 5. So this problem is like we're given a straight line, and we know there are 2 points on this straight line, and one is -3, -2, another is 4, 5. So we want to determine what is the slope of this straight line. Now we can find the answer using either method. So if we decide to use the formula, of the slope. Now if I pick up this is the first point, then x1 gonna be -3, and y1 gonna be -2. So therefore x2 is 4 and y2 is 5. So now if I compute y2 minus y1, that will be 5 minus -2, and over x2 minus x1, so that is 4 minus -3. So this is 7 over 7. Okay, so the slope is 1. Okay, and also we can use another way, the second way. We consider the ratio of the change in the y to the change in the x. So from this point, if I start from this point and then move to this point, so first I have to move for how many units horizontally? So from -3 to +4, I have to move for 7 units. So the change in the x is 7. And from -2 and move to 5, I have to move for 7 units vertically. So the change in the y is also 7. So the slope is 1.